All right, it's recording. Go ahead whenever you're ready, Alan.
All right. So this is from the Letters of the Scattered Brotherhood.
Love that book.
Great book. The time has come to lift the very spirit of you into the current of faith. It is indeed a current, a mighty, creative, creating, recreating, revivifying mood, which, when reached, will set free an active, joyous inspiration beyond your conception. You cannot keep the spirit disincarnate if you abide in it. This power has touched the great ones of the earth. It has changed the tide of battle, for it is inward strength. It is courage. It has 100 names. Keep in the current of faith, the tone of faith, for it is the tone of morale. Create the atmosphere of achievement, creative expectancy.
May you be peaceful and happy. May you be healthy and strong. May you be free from fear, filled with love. We can be peaceful and happy. We can be healthy and strong. We can be free from fear, filled with love. Peace is what our planet needs. Peace that plants a gentle seed of love and truth in word and deed, overcoming fear and greed. Peace is what our planet needs. Peace that plants a gentle seed of love and truth in word and deed, overcoming hate and greed. And we can be peaceful and happy. We can be healthy and strong. We can be free from fear, filled with love. May you be peaceful and happy. May you be healthy and strong. May you be free from fear, filled with love. May you be peaceful and happy. May you be healthy and strong. May you be free from fear, filled with love.
Awesome. Oh, that was
Beautiful.
really good.
Yeah,
Yes.
very nice.
Thank
We,
you. Nice.
we were supposed to
Dolores.
have Lily Frazier doing some music today, but she has some health issues that rise to come up and down, and so she couldn't do it today. She's hoping to do it at our next one in May. And so we thought, well, let's use some common ground stuff that Lily was in, and Dolores put her art with it and made a beautiful, beautiful little video there. And so really appreciate that. So thanks for everybody for coming today. We're just kind of experimenting with this. We'll see what happens. And we're hoping to do this once or twice a month going forward and just kind of see where it goes. The thoughts in my head today are about community and unity, you know, basically coming together in unity and just sharing in the spirit together. We can obviously go and do that on our own by getting in touch with our indwelling spirit within, by doing stillness and quiet time, and then also by doing service. but there is an element of shared cooperation, supreme realization that comes from gathering with others who similarly seek the Spirit and seek to understand the best way to provide service and love and growth in the world. So my little intro today is just basically to say thanks for being here. We'll just kind of see what happens. We are going to record this so we can put it on our site for people to also get a sense of what we're doing in these gatherings. So if you have uncomfortability with that, you can drop off, but we hope you're fine with that. It's just, you can change your view right now. You can either see all of the people or you can change it to single view by just hovering over the view thing. If the view is ever in the way of something, you can also hide the view temporarily if there's a share screen going on, just to let you know a couple things with that. Being on mute, just make sure you come off mute if you want to talk, especially during like either sharing or prayer time or something. If you're sharing something, to remember to remove the mute button for you. So with that, I did have a little piece from a poem that I did a while back that just I wanted to share. Let's see if I can find that on my computer with all these buttons open at the bottom. Let's see here. Yes. Enough is enough in this day, for all who can stand must come from their shell, so that those who cannot will see from their hell the illusions of fire aren't real. It is not so important to know as to feel, so come and touch the light. And if there's one thing that I can do, it's to tell you all that is real. Can you feel it rise? Not the night, not the fear, not the lies, but love. Oh yes, it's the only thing that flies. Fear dies and love rises. Higher than the highest dream it rises, louder than a summer's thunderous sky it rises. The time has come to rise. And with that, we'll turn it over to Mark to lead us in song kind of before we get into sharing. So.
Mm-hmm. There's a song in my heart, and it sings constantly. It's a song without start. It has been and shall be living music. Like the birds in the trees sing their swift melodies at the top of the charts, in the noblest of keys is the song in their hearts. This lifelong melody sings in us constantly and moves us whether we hear it or not. Like a spring underground, or the perfume of trees. On the tip of our tongue is the song without sound in the noblest of keys. From the moment we're young until death do us part, do I live? No, I'm sung by the song in my heart. It's a song without start. It has been and shall be living music. The birds in the trees, their swift melodies at the top of the charts, in the noblest of keys is the song in their hearts. This lifelong melody sings in us constantly and moves us whether we hear it or not. Like a spring underground, or the perfume of trees. On the tip of our tongue is the song without sound, getting heard by degrees. From the moment we're young until death do us part, do we live? No, we're sung by the song in our hearts. The song in our heart.
Nice.
Thanks, Marky.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, Jude, it's yours.
Okay. All right. So I want to do a little community and unity stuff right now. What I'd like us all to do is to share kind of what's going on with us in our lives, like maybe where we're living, because not everybody knows where everybody is. This is a get to know you kind of thing. So just what's new in your life, just briefly. And then what I'd like you to share is your hope, wish, or intention for this endeavor that we've undertaken. Like, what do you hope to see? What do you hope to either give or get or both out of it? So, and I'll start. I'm super excited because my birthday's next week. I'm gonna be 60 and I'm having a birthday party and it looks like it's gonna rain. Oh God. And it's outside. So I'm losing sleep, but in a week I'll have sleep back. But I'm semi-retired from my work. I live in Tallahassee, Florida. Our Urantia group here is disbanded, but Fred and I are still buddies and do things together. And so that's really cool. My intention and hope for what we're doing is definitely to spread the gospel, the good news of love, connection, God, spirit, unity, all the good things. And but really I have a very strong desire not to be a Urantia book promoter. That may be an issue with some people, but that's when we did all and we did with Truth Seekers, it was with the understanding that we're going to take the principles. And Fred, I don't know who says that. And I said it at our meeting the other night. What is it? Preach the gospel at all times, and if necessary, use words. I don't even know who said
St.
that.
Francis.
Okay, because I give credit to Fred, and it's St. Francis.
Francis of Assisi.
St. Francis, what's the difference?
I know.
St. Francis, same group.
They both start with
That's
an
what
FR.
happens when you get old. No one here knows about that. But anyway, yeah, I knew it wasn't Fred. I know he's quoting somebody. So yeah, I think that our message will be greater if we just walk the talk. So I'm very interested in that. All right, so what I want to do and how we're going to go from one person to another. So I'm going to put my hands over my heart and fill it full of love, whoosh, and then pass it over to somebody. So I'm going to go right to Mark Turnbull, because you're right next to me on the screen.
Uh-huh.
And it doesn't have to be in order, by the way. It could just be to whoever. So go ahead.
Well, let's see if I can fulfill your requirements here. So I'm in Irvine, California, sunny Southern California, windy, sunny Southern California at the moment. And as far as, this group goes, I just go where Bob goes. Bob Devine says, Mark, go there. And I go there. So that's, I suppose I'm sort of his court jester.
Mm.
But as far as, the ultimate goals of this group, of such a group, is, as Judy said, to spread the gospel, to live the love, and so that to sort of foster, illuminate, inculcate that living spirit within each of us, to where its fragrance, which I think I just mentioned in the song, right? Like the perfume of trees. Nobody knows where it's coming from, but what is that?
Mm.
This is what can be accomplished by, as Judy said, walking the talk. People then say, I'll have what he's having.
Right.
So that is, to ripple outwards. Let this group, let all groups drop pebbles in the pond, that the ripples may spread outward, and people are affected, and affected for the better.
Beautiful.
So then, Mark, you pick somebody. Yeah.
Oh gosh, Dolores. Now, which Dolores? There's an E, there's an O.
Go ahead. E comes before O.
Precisely why I want the O.
Oh, thanks a lot, Mark. Okay, hi everyone. My name's Dolores Nice, and I'm currently living in Hillsboro, Oregon, which is a suburb of Portland. But I'm a California girl. I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I miss it terribly. One thing I'm noticing is there's something going on, and it's affecting different groups, because I'm active in different groups. And I just wanted to share that with you so to see where this group fits in. There's a group of women that have across the country that have really united, and we meet once a month on Zoom, and then there's about 30 of us, and the focus is on the creative mother spirit. How to be her helpers and what she wants us to do. We're planning a retreat up in Washington State on an island coming in September. Wonderful group of a lot of Canadians and people from the States. Then I already mentioned Byron Belitzo's group that he's starting quarterly. Again, it's bringing 25, 30 people together, and we're learning new things. And he's focusing a lot on light and life, one of his focuses. My local, well, I'm not local anymore, but in the Bay Area, I'm still a member of our society, Golden Gate Circle. We just hosted last Sunday a lovely Easter service with music and videos and poetry. And it's really not that hard to do if you split it up and everyone has a part. And it creates community. It brings us together with no politics, just thing. And then the fellowship and the UAI or UIA is co-hosting an international conference out of Peru. And I already signed up for that because it's going to be in Spanish and in English. And there's about 3 other groups that I'm aware of that have been active and coming in. So I'm wondering what's going on. I mean, we all have the same basic connection of the Urantia book, but we're all kind of gathering more. And I'm just curious to see if there's a common purpose. And my hope is that this group is that we discover what that is and move with it, because we're not getting any younger. So if I told God, if he wants me to do something, he better hurry up because I'm getting old. That's it. Thanks, guys.
So put your hand over your heart and then fill it full of love and then pass it on to somebody.
My old time friend, Karen, which I haven't seen in years. Hi, Karen. Unmute.
Yeah, just hover and you'll see. Yeah, there
Hi.
you go.
Yeah.
Hi, good to see you.
So I'm still in Northern California in the redwood trees. And once in a while I go to Golden Gate Circles. And I'm still making ceramics. And I play a little harp just a little bit. Nothing fancy like Lily. Okay, so what I want from this group is interaction, because I've noticed that if I just listen on Zoom calls, I space out and I don't show up. So I really appreciate us talking, and maybe we could continue sharing, what's happening in our lives relating to, things that are important, spiritual issues, and, how we're working with other people. Okay, so it's good to see Bob Devine again. I haven't seen you for a real long time.
Been a few years. I'm thinking, gosh, was it Flagstaff? So
Yeah, I went to
it
Flagstaff.
might have been Flagstaff. So yeah.
That
So
one,
Yeah.
that's when I met you.
that's when I
yeah.
met Judy. The first time I met Judy. So yeah. So
Oh, that was so fun. Everywhere I
Yeah.
went, there was Bob Devine.
yeah, because it was meant to be, right? So
Your
yeah.
last name, Karen. I'd like to.
Anyway, so well, I'm Bob Devine. I'm in Southern Idaho, Pocatello, and been here for 25 years. Lived in Spokane before for my life up until then. So let's see. Service, I just kind of get my hands into just about everything. So I'm busy with work and I'm doing all sorts of side projects there. I run a Pocatello Film Society, which is independent movies here in Pocatello. So I do that as well. Matter of fact, we have a movie this afternoon that we're showing. And finally getting back in the theater. We were doing virtual for a long time. So it's nice to have some people coming back in. Our COVID cases have really dropped here in Southern Idaho. So let's hope it stays that way, cross our fingers. So got my second shot this week. And so I had a fever up until yesterday. So that was fun, but I'm doing better now. So, but I'm probably still feeling a little cold, hence the sweatshirt. So anyways, for me, I just like to see people getting together and talking and the potentials that arise out of that. I just like that. And I feel good about everyone. Even when I disagree with them, I still think loving thoughts about them because I remember the things we shared together. And so it's nice to see people coming here and getting a chance to see people I haven't seen in a long time, like Karen and Perry, although I've seen Perry in the last couple of years. So, and Kathy and of course, Susan Whitmore. So, and Stevie, my balcony bunk buddy in Celestial Nights. We slept on the balcony under the stars one night when we were at Celestial Nights, and that's great. So remember that. So I think I'm going to turn it over to Steve Tiller and let him share. So
my name is Susan, and I'll just remain anonymous since I was have many years in an alternate program. The and kind of what I'm looking for out of this thing is probably I do some meditation or some but it may take a different form than a 30 minutes in the closet every day. So because I do some mental stuff. I read every day, and I try to, I'm fairly active still in painting or in art form kind of things and some writing, and still kind of doing that. I talk to the people I talk to are not necessarily ranch people because it never has been a very active community in Atlanta. So I don't go to ranch meetings particularly. I would like this year to maybe check out that the Rancho University.
It's great.
Some stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I'm helpful to the people around me, and so tomorrow we'll be doing somebody's garden for them. There's been I made it through the pandemic to the end of the pandemic with being happily whole, without a lot of things were working out pretty well. And then I made some drastic changes around and got sold my house, and I had to be out 4 days before Christmas, so it was just a real zoo. And I'm living in a rental home up in Roswell, Georgia, which is north of where I was. I was in Sandy Springs, Georgia. And so the things that I have to look forward to are I've got to build another house or find another house. And my preference, I still have some land, so I'll probably end up. I'm looking at plans and and more importantly, the structure of the building business has changed so dramatically that as far as cost and the people I used to know are not doing it anymore, or they've moved on. And so as I've aged, they've not only aged but retired. But so I'm looking at some alternative methods of trying to build that house without with less wood in it. As far as I like to have some exterior wood, but I'm trying to figure out some other ways to do it. So I spend my day looking at that, and I also I supplement my income in the stock market some, and so I spend some time and have for several years studying that, and so I occupy my mind pretty well. Maybe not in the way that everybody wants me to, but I do. And then I spend the rest of my time in personal service to people around me, not so community based as Dolores does. I mean, she's in touch with a lot of people in a lot of different areas, and they're doing group things and stuff. And I've always considered my service as personal based. It's person to person. It's not necessarily group to group. Now, although I've always loved the people in the Urantia movement, because that's my kind of second family. I've been in recovery for 40 years. And so I also have a recovery family, an AA family. But in the last year, I hadn't really seen them either. I've done some Zoom calls with them and some phone calls, but I've been cut off from that aspect, which has not noticeably, the being isolated has not noticeably affected me, I don't think, except this last few months wherein I've uprooted myself and my family and placed us in another location, which was not terribly bright to do during a pandemic, but it's just the way it turned out. So if what I want from this is just an increase in that, probably the mental, visual, and emotional kind of meditative stuff. So it's more personally based, and I'm looking for more personal services to do. So that's kind of where I'm at. So how about Fred or Eugenia? I hadn't heard from her in a long time.
I'm surprised.
Yes. How are you?
I'm a talkie. How am I? Fine. I live in Lawrence, Kansas, the middle of the country, and never have left town except for lots of places to visit and so on and so forth. But I've always had a widespread community. My children are all into their 50s and 60s and very busy doing their own thing, surviving, so on and so forth, and doing okay for the most part. Some of them not as well as others, but you know what I mean. And I'm into my third companion, marriage, whatever, right now. I'm really in transition. When you reach your 80s, I don't know whether this is true of other people, but I certainly feel it in my own community. You really are at a time when you have to start letting go. Your life does not allow you to continue doing a lot of the things that you used to do. And there are actually tasks that arise that you have to think about that when you're 50, 60, active, and so on and so forth, you're really not thinking about. You kind of have to think about where you're going and where you've been and what you got to do with all the stuff that you've accumulated. And that includes not only material things, but also some of the other connections and so forth that you have. So you have to manage your time. You have to manage your energy. And fortunately for me, I'm pretty healthy and manage my energy pretty well and can do a lot. And I continue to live in the house I've been in for about 25 years. And my partner is 91 and does very, very well. And we're so far still able to manage. But that day could change any minute. So we kind of have to think about the future, but we don't really have any specific plan. We'll just let that happen when it comes. What do I want out of this group? Well, actually, I want to bring up that I feel that this is related very much to the work of Melchizedek. And for me, I've been doing lots and lots of reading, looking at varying sources and so on and so forth about the coming back of Melchizedek. And I find in the Urantia community in particular, an awareness that Melchizedek is calling them all over the place. I think every single one of you has been affected in some way or another by Melchizedek's call. And I see it in all kinds of groups in all kinds of ways. So I see this group as a group of people who understand the call in their own varying ways and are matching their own talents to the call. And some of us are maybe clarifying that. Maybe we haven't consciously done it yet, but we are in the process of doing it consciously, because I don't think there's a single person here today that does not see or feel or know that we really are about eternal things. The material things that we have are very, very important, and we, as mortals, we have to tend to them. But this is a call and a time when we have work to be done. So I see my role as an old lady as being more supportive, and most of my mission work has always been kind of as I pass by, I've learned to answer the nudges and probably ignore a lot of them, but I get a lot of nudges. And so I see myself as more of a support person than particularly a leader, if that makes any sense. I think that's where I am. I'm very content and happy with where I am, and have a better and better vision of where I might be going. Okay. Okay, I think Kathy is got something to say.
Well, I'm here in southeastern Washington State, and there are a few members left of our North Idaho group still meeting. And we've for some time been working with healing, but lately have been called to work on energy uplifting and trying to increase our vibration to be more useful.
Right on.
And so that's kind of our focus now. And I like we're still doing the conference call. It's been over 20 years. So we're continuing with that. The messages we're getting is that the time has come to get ready, because things are happening. And I enjoy seeing you guys and making connection. And the pandemic was nasty. I retired. I'm here by myself. Everything I like to do, I couldn't do. Our governor shut everything down until about a month ago for a whole year. No movies, no music, no dancing, no anything, no social groups. It's been kind of difficult, but the Zoom has been great. And we're starting to see that shift, and I'm real hopeful for opportunities in the future to be of service. Perry.
Make sure you take the mute off, Perry.
Hello, it's wonderful.
Hello.
So just delightful to. Hi, can you not hear me?
Now we can.
No, we hear you.
You can? Okay, good. All right. Just fabulous to see you. Hi, Fred. Hi, Lucy. Kathy. It's Judy. I was actually just thinking of Eliana. I was thinking about Eliana the other day.
Oh.
And just feeling her. And she would be here if she could.
Yeah.
I'm up in Canada, so I'm your token Canadian here today, I think. Right now I'm visiting my daughter, the dangerous thing to do. But it's my grandson's 16th birthday. And I just had to be here for his birth, and I'm here now. So, and it's glorious. I'm down in the, just outside of Vancouver, and it's all the trees are in blossom, and it's just incredible. This last year has been very interesting. just before the pandemic hit, another woman and I started a Southern BC study group on Zoom, and we've got a few people from Canada, but also a few people from the States. And that little group is wonderful. And quite a few people in that group are really grateful for the Melchizedek transmissions that we've been getting, Bob. So thank you. Thank you so much. They're really inspirational. And also I've been hooked into the UUI cafes. And so once, twice a week, usually participating in those Urantia study groups. I feel I wrote a book called Belonging, Exploring Healing and Spirituality, which is about why we are the way we are, and looking at the physical and hormonal reasons. And now I'm following that up with another book, Belonging, Present, Past, and Future. And in this second book, I'm looking much more at the understanding the effects of the Lucifer rebellion and why we are the way we are, and how important it is for that understanding to clear our minds, to get away from our isolation in our guilt and our fears and our all of the incredible issues that bind us up and keep us from being able to connect in love. I'm still doing a small practice in my energy kinesiology work, which specifically works with that, clearing away the impediments that we have to being able to just love. I get to live in a small town in southern British Columbia, and I get to bicycle and enjoy life a lot. And part of a nice, lovely community here. And it's, again, just so, oh, the one most important thing that I see that Dolores, you were mentioning about the why, all the groups rising. But if we can, each of us, see the connections, we're like little knots in this web that is being activated and energized. And with each time we see and feel our connection with all the other groups, however they express themselves, the stronger we are. It's that light. We're all bringing light into the world. And I think that the value of small groups is that we get to speak this way personally and intimately and be recognized and recognize each other. And that's invaluable. I love you all so much. Oh, yeah, and that's what we do, connect.
Yes. Who are you gonna pick, Barry?
And Daniel. I picked Daniel.
Thank you. Thank you. I live Western Slope, Colorado, near Glenwood Springs, about 20 miles from Springs, I-70. And living with my son in his basement, happy relationship. He and his wife of 3 years and their 2 children. And I work several hours a day for my son. I'm enthusiastic transmitter receiver, devotee. Thank you, Bob, for your regular transmissions. It's a very rare group because the vast majority of your Urantia book students give no credence to receiving and transmitting from celestial beings. So that's just a nice connection. And the reason I'm interested here is that I need contact with like-minded persons. And let's see, I'll be 75. I'm reaching out to my neighbors from the standpoint of just being good friends. I used to be a rabid Urantia book thumper, and now I'm much more laid back about that. And recently discovered the James Paget books, where Jesus came through with 400 or so transmissions in the early 1900s. And the other fabulous book I recently came upon was Life from the Other Side, which is detailed account of what it's like when we died and how beautiful and wonderful it is. And also, if I was highly evil in this life, I go to a plane where I'm ministered to in the most loving ways by brothers and sisters that come to visit and help me rise out of my negativity. It's just an aspect of what happens when we die that I knew nothing about. How Judas, for instance, is now a high teacher after the 2000 years, but he had a tremendously arduous journey from the place of blaming everybody. And now he's written over 800 pages in a book called Judas of His Home Village, Curiatith, or something like that. So that's fabulous teaching from the other side that came through somebody on the teaching mission starting in 2000, 2001, around in there. So that's my enthusiasms now. I used to have the goal to become a master of the Urantia book. Now that's slipped because I realize I can consult it at any time and I don't need to memorize it. And yet I'm so very thankful for the Urantia book because it was such a bright eye opener. Thank you all for being here together with us, with me, and we will continue with very happy friendship.
Yes.
Glad
Okay,
to
now
have you on board. Glad to see you.
pick somebody to hand it to, Daniel.
I think we have
Let's
Fred
see,
and Dolores and Alan.
Every single person,
Dolores
I
has.
think every person has
No.
spoken,
Over there.
maybe
Fred-
not,
Fred hasn't, and the other
maybe
Dolores
not
and Alan.
Lucy Harris
Oh,
hasn't
Dolores
spoken
and Lucy.
How about Lucy?
Alan.
Let's let Dolores go first and then I'll do it and then I'll go into the sermon because that's next. Okay.
Sounds good. Why don't we do that? Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds good. So,
Natural.
Okay, you get two for the price of one, though.
yes,
Alan's here.
yes.
Why don't you go first?
Okay. Hi, so I'm Alan Rowe, and I live in Adair Village, Oregon, which is near Corvallis, if you know where that is. And we are currently in the process of buying a house in Newport, Oregon, which is out on the coast. So that's something that we've been getting more, and I'm sure it'll keep us busy for a while, moving out of this house and into that house, but we have to finalize buying that house first. Anyway, let's see. I've heard a lot of good things from people today, which is neat. Part of what I appreciate about people that have been in the Urantia book and have been in the teaching mission is they typically have pretty positive attitudes about other people and about life. I mean, that's part of what I appreciated with the Urantia book was I came to understand the universe was a loving universe. God is a loving Father, and so that's the energy that's out there. I didn't have that so much from traditional religion. But anyway, let's see. I had searched when I was younger, had searched through different religions, trying to find something more. And then I met Thea, and I don't know how many of you knew Thea, but anyway, we got married, and she gave me the Urantia book, and I read it and thought it was pretty neat. It like opened up a whole bigger perspective, and that's I don't know, that was what I was looking for, was a bigger perspective. And then when the teaching mission came along, that was like, it just made sense. It's like we're connecting with other spirit beings, and it's like, wow, that's, I mean, they're around us all the time, and it's up to us to open ourselves and allow that love that they have to come in. And then it's up to us to also share that, because you can't just hold on to it. It's like you get it in, you give it out. So connecting with other people, something I have trouble doing. I mean, I'm that during the COVID pandemic, I actually didn't mind staying at home a lot. I mean, I did Zoom meetings. I'm on the city council here in Adair Village, and so I do civic things, but you know, not going out, and we aren't party people. Anyway, going, I guess one of the things, going to Newport, I see as an opportunity to become part of a community that is different. Adair Village was an Air Force station, and it had a bunch of houses built with no commercial. There's like one small store and one small restaurant in the whole town. So it's just lots of houses. I look forward to getting to a place where there's more other kinds of activity, and also the ocean. I grew up in San Diego, and one of my favorite things was going to the ocean. So it's nice to have that to look forward to. But like a group like this, I appreciate the positive energy. I appreciate the, well, a lot of you guys know each other, have for a long time. And that's a neat, you know, camaraderie to have. So just thank you for being here and participating. It's good.
Yeah.
Okay, my
Well,
turn.
I'll turn it over to Dolores.
Thank you, Al. No, wow. I don't want to talk forever, and I really could. But yeah, after Thea died, then our group sort of fell apart, and we she had gotten Ellen and I together before she died. And so she said, you guys fall in love, get married. You know, I want you to stay together. You're going to take care of each other for me. And that was really funny, because we had been buddies and friends for years, working, you know, building things, because Thea was handicapped and would look out her window and say, okay, I need a garden out there. This is how I want it. Go build it. So we'd go put in vineyards, and we'd build sound rooms for their music. And we were just like the little slavies that did all this work, you know, for all her great, incredibly creative ideas. And it was hard those years, you know, going down and out. But after that, we just kind of took a vacation for a while, and had to sort all sorts of stuff and things. But we traveled everywhere and went to San Diego a couple times, helped his mom die, you know, what you do. And then around 2015, I started meditating an hour a day. So I was feeling the pull back to spirituality. And by doing that, I quit smoking, which was my 50-year-old habit. I just love tobacco and what it does to a creative mind. But with meditating an hour a day, I was able to kick that off. And that really was astounding to me, because I tried to quit all my life. And finally, with that inner connection. So I did that for about 3 years. I have, like, you know, 15 notebooks full of notes. And one day I sat down to do it, and it's like Michael came by and hit me on the back of the head and says, get up, Dolores, we have work to do. And I went, what? You know, and I looked over, it's like I saw the flash of his cloak and his sandal going out the door. It's like, what? So anyway, it started these art collages, and I started working with my art, and I made about a dozen of them. And finally, like the last one after a dozen, it was like, there was a word came in my head that said transflux inducer. I thought, wow, what is that? You know, transflux. And I looked it all up, and it doesn't exist anywhere. But what it is like with my art, I found a way to visually and emotionally with color and an idea cause Perry will understand this, I'm sure, cause like emotional reactions that change the chemistry of your brain and your thinking. And I took them all down to this art show, and I talked to this woman, and I said, I think this is what's happening. She says, well, let's test it. So we had an art show, and then we watched all these different people go through, and things that happened to them was exactly like what they told me was happening, you know, create this thing that if someone opens up to it, like in the video, you know, there's images and stuff that are interrelated, and everybody brings their own self to it, but you see what you are in it, and then it can actually, like we saw people go through emotional healings with death. We saw emotional healings through abandonment. We saw people changing their lives and deciding that they could buy that house or they could change that job, and it was okay to, you know, step forward and leave your family's ideals and become who you are. And like, it was really incredible. One of my scariest ones, I had these big owl eyes looking out, and I hesitantly put it into the show because to me it was the scariest, most intense of any of them that I had done. And it was, you know, I put it up, and this Jew rabbi was standing there staring at it. And I walked up to him, I says, what do you think? He goes, well, with everything that's going on, I still get a deep sense of stillness. I was like, yay! I could not have asked for a better response. You know what I mean? So anyway, I have all the stuff that I did that's, I tried to do it myself. I have like 3 different websites, heartsinlight.com, thistlesisters.com. You know, I have all these things. I tried to make it happen, and it just wouldn't work. It wouldn't go. Dolores, I mean, kind of like getting groups, you know, and you work hard and then it doesn't work. And so I was just frustrated, and I said, help, you know, you guys are pushing me to do this. I can't do it by myself. And I heard the message that says, a helper will come soon. So who calls me up? Bob Divine. Says, I have a website you can use. You can do whatever you want. I'm going, what? You know, so that's what I'm trying to do. And then I'm trying to sort it out. I get so far and I get blocked, and I'm like, help, I need help. Help is coming soon. So I got Sunny now, this psychotherapist, is going to help me piece together the things, because, and now I'm talking too long, but the point with it was to be able to train people so that they could actually recognize truth. Because to me, like, truth has, I think Bobby, you and I were talking the other day, or we finally figured it out, because I was thinking, what makes a difference between something that's a lie and something that's true? Well, to me, truth has like gravity or weight or spirit presence or something, you know. And the other day I was like, wow, truth has love in it, you know, so love is the quality. And so I'm trying to build this thing that takes you through your chakra systems and through your energy systems, identifying as a person, what is it that you love, you know, and amplifying all the good things in your life and bringing them together and saying, this is who I am, this is what I love. And then having that be like an orb that somebody can look at, comparing it to all of us. How are we similar? How are we different? How does this all work? Anyway, it's still quite nebulous. But Daniel, one piece of it is Thea had AA group that she called
Artists recovering through the 12 steps.
Artists Recovering Through the 12 Steps. And I thought that would be great to have a section that's that, you know, so that we can show all the different 12-step things and how they relate and how to use them and stuff, and with art. So anyway, I got a lot of big ideas, and I'm so grateful to Fred and Bobby and Russ and everybody with this website. And hopefully we can make something that people will be attracted to, work it like a game, you know. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's the direction I'm heading. So, and I told my friend Mark Farley, you know, I said, I have to connect my art to the Urantia community. He goes, well, why? It's like, because Macavenda, you know, because it's Midwayers, because that's who I've been following. I got the Urantia book when I was 23 years old. So, you know, I'm 71 on April 25th. So I've been following that book all my life. And so I'm really happy to find you people. We feel like we're late to the group, but we've been beside you the whole time. So thanks for coming together.
I'd like to introduce somebody connected to Dolores that quite a few of you may not have met yet, and that's Sonia DeWitt. She is a person who has the background in brain function and pathological as well as healthy brain function things, and she does counseling. And she just introduced herself quickly, and she and Dolores have skills that are, I would say, interdependent. And I think some of you who may have yet met her will be meeting her, and I think that they have already some projects. But I wanted to make sure that Sonia was introduced.
Yeah, she calls herself Sunny.
Sunny, yeah, but I met her as Sonia, and I'm gonna have to try to transition to that. Okay, I'm sorry for interjecting.
Speaking of transition, why don't we go over to Fred now and go in there, and Fred, do what you're going to do.
Sounds
Well,
good.
I'll do that. I'm Fred Harris. I live in Quincy, Florida. And Judy and I have been kind of on this thing with kids lately. I mean, we met in Flagstaff. So I'm supposed to give a little sermon today. But before I do, I'm gonna just pitch you a little bit about teaching kids stuff, you know. You who are on the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. Teach children well, their father will slowly go by, and feed them on your day. The one they'll fix, the one you'll know by. Don't you ever ask them why, or you would cry. So just look at them inside and know they love you. So the kids are so important, and my topic today was on attention, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about attention. If you've ever watched, you know, when you're living your life, it's like drinking out of a fire hydrant. Stuff is flying at you in unbelievable speed, and your job is to, and everybody has a limited amount of attention. So your job is to focus your attention on things which will be important to you in your life. And everybody is trying to get that attention. And what's happened lately is that to try and get your attention, people have tried to be as extreme in their communications as possible, as fearful and as crazy in their communications to make you look at it and go, what is this all about? And the result of that is polarization, and also it is taking you away from what is the most important stuff, which really is spiritual. They want you to buy things. They want you to support causes. They want you to do this and the other. But in reality, we're all limited in the amount of time we have here and what we can do with our time. So attention spans have dropped significantly over time. And everybody knows this. Anybody in advertising knows you got to make your pitch in, 8 seconds if you want to really get somebody's attention. The typical time, the average time on a Facebook post is 2.5 seconds. And so this creates a big problem. Attention also has a direct effect on how things happen. If you've ever studied quantum mechanics, it's surprising they've come up with the fact that your attention to any particular thing changes the dynamics of what's going on in a quantum level. So attention has a lot of power, and you can bring things to you by giving it attention. We all know this, but so our job, Jesus says, our job here is to spread the good news. Now, we know we're here to learn lessons individually ourselves, and that's fine, but he came down here to try and introduce us to his Father and also to encourage us to spread the good news. But he also said, do it in a way that is understandable from generation to generation. You got to restate the truth so people can actually accept it, can understand it, and can appreciate it. And that's where kids come in to our, when Judy has been, the mother to, I can't tell you how many kids, and she runs youth camps, and we did Truth Seekers together. Kids need to be communicated with on a level that they can appreciate. And typically that involves relationship and love and acceptance and forgiveness, all the main things. When Jesus was about to incarnate on this planet, he went to his brother Emmanuel and said, all right, we got to talk about some of the guidelines here. And if you look at the 5th decision he made, he said, how am I going to convey my message on this planet? I could do it by getting legions of angels to show up. I could get it by doing all these miracles. I could do all kinds of stuff that would get people's attention, but I'm not going to do that unless it's consistent with the Father's will, but I'm not going to go out and just do that. And he said, they think that they're looking for a Messiah. I'm not going to be the Messiah. I'm not going to get into politics. I'm not going to get into social stuff. I'm here for a primary reason. So he was able to focus his attention on conveying the very simple message: God is our Father, a loving Father. The universe is friendly. We're all brothers and sisters. So that's a pretty simple message. And if you think about it, if you're a God and you wanted to convey to some of your creation what you really wanted them to know, you'd have to think, all right, how am I going to do this? One of the things he would say would be, it's got to be simple. And when I say he, I mean God is not male, female. I'm just going to, let's just say, would say, it's got to be a simple message. It's got to be a universal message. It's got to be an effective message. So when people hear it, it'll ring true with them. And that's where we came up with the good news. Now, Jesus had his way of doing it, but each of us has to have our way of doing it. Not only do we have to convey it in a way that is acceptable to people and understandable to people, but it's also got to be something that we do in the normal course of passing by. Jesus did most of his best work when he was just talking to people. He conveyed his message as he passed by, and he wasn't in a hurry either. He would spend time basically just talking to people, asking them questions, answering questions. And usually when he said the least, he conveyed the most. That's just the way he was. And I think Judy mentioned earlier, a quote that is attributable to St. Francis of Assisi, you know, preach constantly, use words only when necessary. So, you know, it's important for us when we're talking about our attention, how are we going to focus that attention in a way that will convey the message that we've been asked to convey?
Right.
The reason that we have never used the Urantia book, particularly in our youth activities, is because it can be a divisive thing. All right. Religion these days is a divisive thing. That's why if you saw the latest Pew Research report, for the first time ever, less than 50% of Americans claim to be affiliated with any kind of church. So the reason for this is obvious. The churches have been politicized. They've used their platforms to do things to create division between people. They think my way is the only way. They think that, you know, certain types of people, gays or other, are, you know, abomination to God and all this kind of stuff. You know, it's based on Bible, and I get that, but people aren't buying that anymore. So our job is to focus our attention in a way to meet Jesus's requirements of us, which is to spread the good news. All right. So part of what I want to just include is just to ask you each, look at your daily schedule, look at your checkbook, look at how you spend your time, and ask yourself, all right, am I spending my time consistent with what we've been asked to do? Am I actually using my time effectively to spread the good news? It's pretty simple. Are we or are we not? Are people coming up to us and saying, I want what you have? You obviously know something that I don't know, and you seem to be happy. How can I get what you have? Now the door is open to say things to them. Until then, Jesus would never give his opinion unless he was asked for it. And that's one reason the kids all liked him, because he wasn't in their face with it, you know. So I try and do the same thing. Since attention spans are slow or shorter these days, I'm going to bring this to an end, except that I want you to consider this advice from one of our greatest, I think, songwriters. He was recently deceased and graduated. John Prine. I don't know if y'all are John Prine fans.
Yeah.
This song is one that we live by, and I really like it, so hope you like it. She was a level-headed dancer on the road to alcohol. I was just a soldier on my way to Montreal. Well, she pressed her breast against me about the time the jukebox broke. She gave me a peck on the back of my neck. These are all the words she spoke. Blow up your TV, blow away your paper, move to the country, build you a home, plant a little garden, eat a lot of peaches, try to find Jesus on the road. Well, I was young and hungry and about to leave that place. Just when I was leaving, well, she looked me in the face. I said, you must know the answer. She said, no, but I'll give it a try. And to this very day, we've been living our way. And here is the reason why. We blew up our TV. We threw away our papers. Moved to the country. Built us a home. Had a lot of children. Fed them on peaches. They all found Jesus on their own. I left out the middle verse just to shorten it up, but that's the concept. Think about where you're putting your attention. Think about if you're wasting your time. We have a short time. Let's all be about the Father's business. Thanks, guys.
Yes. Thanks, Fred. All right, well, we're close to the wrap up. We'll do a little meditation kind of as a final thing, but I wanted to news and notes. We usually meet Wednesday nights. Every other week we meet to just have spiritual discussion, share with each other various topics. And then the alternate Wednesdays, we are hoping to start doing a little TR on alternate Wednesdays. We'll send out links to our list. If you're not on our list, you're certainly welcome to be on our list. We have it, so send an email to me or to one of our people. We can get you on the list if you
Is it still 6 o'clock, Bob?
Yeah, on Dolores, is it 6 on Wednesdays? Okay, so 6 Pacific time on Wednesdays. So yeah.
And it's
so,
1 hour because I have study group at 7 o'clock on
yeah, we just
Wednesday.
if whenever you have to go, just go sort of thing. It's an
Okay.
open discussion. So yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
that should be good. So we'll have that. I hope to have some conferences next year. So we are starting to talk a little bit about that and look at that. So maybe we will have an in-person conference in 2022 in the summer. So other news and notes, I think that's about it. Anybody else want to add anything before I turn it over to Mark to do a song to lead us into meditation?
Aha. Yes, I have a question for Alan. What pages were you reading from in the letters of the Scattered Brotherhood?
It was page 125.
Aha, thank you.
Yeah, very nice quote, by the way. So
Yes, beautiful.
yes.
125. That's
all right. Well, Mark has my favorite meditation song, so we're going to let him sing a song, and then we'll probably do a few minutes afterwards, just in quiet. That's a time also, if you have somebody that you want to pray for or throw out to put out thoughts for them, maybe during that time, feel free to mention somebody's name or something if you have somebody you want us to pray for or put in our thoughts. So,
okay,
Mark.
understand the unseen hand alone holds all of the facts. Friend, stay calm. You're in the palm. Relax. Love runs deep, but talk is cheap. Stung, a person reacts. Truth needs no defending, though. So let go. Vanity, humanity, these words will rhyme till the end of time. The trick is how to end time now. What is time? A leaf, a chime. Hearts see eternity beyond our grief, beyond belief. Understand the unseen hand alone holds all of the facts. Friend, stay calm. We're in the palm. Relax.
Thank you.
Mhm.
You're welcome.
I would like to add Lily Fraser to the circle. She's having some health difficulties, so if you keep her in your thoughts, and Father, whatever you can do there.
I'd like to ask for prayer for my housemate, Brianna. She's in the depths of addiction. It's really, really difficult.
I would like to ask prayers for strength, peace, and courage for Sunny, whose mom is in hospice and going through that ordeal, hard on her emotionally.
Mm.
I'd like to ask for prayers for one of our local readers from the Santa Cruz, California area. She has, I don't know if you know her, she's an artist. Her name is Dawn. And anyhow, she's really having a hard time. They have found cancer in 3 parts of her body, and she's having a hard time with the treatment that they're giving her. So if you would pray for her for strength and that we find someone to help her. Thank you.
Jacob is a young man recovering from a brain aneurysm, and we like to send him energy and healing.
And for all those suffering in one way or another, we place them in your embrace, God, and keep them in our prayers for enlightenment, for healing, and for your will to prevail.
Mm.
Amen.
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 That was lovely. Thanks,
Well,
everybody.
we've officially gotten to the end. So thanks for coming out today. It's nice to see everybody. Feel free, nobody has to leave. If you want to chat with anybody, you're welcome to chat as long as you want, but you are welcome to go at any point. And thank you for staying till the end if you could. So
I had a question, Bob, about the Melchizedek transcripts. Are you the one that's getting them?
there's quite a few different people getting them right now. We have a group, and so our group meets and we do get lessons. I would say I get some of them, and we've had others in the group get them, but I think there's a couple other groups that have also been getting them lately. And so it seems like he's making himself known around. So, yeah. So
Can I be
Dolores,
on the list?
the Light Line too, Dolores, with Mark Rogers.
it's
Oh,
been
yeah.
having some of that. Yeah,
Pretty
so,
regular Melchizedek there.
yeah.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
as far as list, I will be posting them to the all list if it's something pertinent, or TM transcripts. So if you're not on TM transcripts, you can always go to TM transcripts, search it, and I think there's a link online where you can subscribe, or Russ runs it, so you can ask Russ to be added.
Russ Gustafson?
Yeah, Yeah, so you can ask him to be added to TM transcripts. So
Okay, I thought I was, but I don't get anything
I
anymore.
think you changed your email address too, so maybe that's why. So
Oh, that could be it.
yeah, so maybe tell him to change the email address you have. So yes.
Oh, yeah, that's,
Oh yeah, that. Yes.
Thank you. I know I did it to you too.
oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
So yes.
Raymond's putting a lot of things on Big Mac Speaks also.
So
Big
yeah,
Mac
yeah, there's
what?
a few of them.
Big Mac, that's awesome.
Yes. So
Yeah, he's made a wonderful website and he's put as many transcripts on there as he could.
Oh,
Hey, bye, friends. Love you.
You
good
all,
to see you, Jude. We'll see you another
See you
time. So
later.
Yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye.
I'm gonna head out too, guys. It's good to see you, Steve. It's really good to see your face. Hope to see you again. Yep, you're still on mute, by the way. Just let you know. So, but, yeah, good to see you. So.